Thomas, it was a real tactical battle. In the end, though, do you think a draw was a fair result, or do you think Chelsea perhaps edged it on the chances created?
I had the feeling that we put a little bit more in from every minute in second half. We had very, very big chance with Hakim Ziyech to open the scoreline and to be 1-0 ahead and open the game in our favor. But it's like this. We had some half chances, but I'm happy with the effort. I'm happy with the intensity. I'm happy with the high recoveries in second half, and we gave them a hard time. We can still improve. It's like this, and on this level, sometimes you have to accept that it's a draw.
You're learning so much about this Chelsea side so quickly, but right now, what did you feel you learned the most from this game, and do you know your best starting 11 right now?
No, and the starting 11 will depend on what we need and what we expect and how fresh we are and who is in shape, and this can also change. What I learned is that the guys are absolutely reliable. We try to do what we want to do. We try to fulfill the plan. We hang in 100%, and the courage in defending and the adapting in defending and the attitude in defending is amazing. It's always a team effort. We can still improve in decision making and precision. It's not too easy for us to score, but okay, we will hang in and not give in too early. But it's still every game is a pleasure because the guys are totally reliable.
I can see your frustration, and obviously there's that lack of cutting edge.
Yeah.
What do you feel that? What is lacking right now? I mean, obviously just the finishing, but
it's just the finishing and the pass before the finishing. We miss composure, but we play a high intensity game. So sometimes we arrive in the box and are exhausted because it's hard for us to create it. We create it sometimes with high recoveries, which is very, very intense. So I can absolutely accept it, and it comes also with experience and yeah, lack of precision, a little bit decision making, but it's also normal. We play a high rhythm, we play a high intensity, lack a little bit of luck maybe in these games, and there's no problem.
Okay, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks out to Alisson and Thomas Tuchel. He's probably relieved that he wasn't asked if it was a penalty or not, because if he was to answer, Chris, by your assessment of what happened on the pitch, you'll probably be lying.
Yeah, he probably asked specifically not to be asked about the penalty decision. You know, that may have happened. Yeah, it would have been really interesting to see what he had to say about that. I think as a whole, the job he's done so far, Chelsea fans will be pretty happy. I think he said himself, things can improve. I think we'd all agree that the remit when he came in was to get Chelsea into a Champions League spot. This season, it looks like they're in with a good shout of doing that. But clearly, in the final third of the pitch, they need to hit the straps. They haven't done that enough. Defensively, though, they do look very solid.
Do you feel, Renee, that the most in-demand player this summer is going to be Erling Haaland? Because we've talked about Manchester United, we've mentioned Cavani, but he is not getting any younger. Seems to be the best option as a striker for the club, however. With Chelsea struggling, Thomas Tuchel himself just said it. Do you reckon Haaland will be the one player everybody's going to keep an eye on now? Even Liverpool, even clubs across Europe?
Yeah, there will be, but there's only a few clubs that will be able to afford him. And he himself, he needs to make sure he makes the right decision, that he goes to a club that suits, that he can place to his strengths. You know, in terms of getting him into the goal scoring opportunities. But definitely, he's probably one of the most wanting players out there, and his scoring record again in Dortmund is second to none.
Would you like to see him in the Premier League, Chris? Erling Haaland?
Oh yes, I mean, what doesn't he have? Well, he's 20 years old, isn't he? Just imagine when he fills out a bit and gets a bit quicker. You know. Think about him in 3 or 4 years. The guy's an absolute monster. And do you know what? He has great intelligence as well. He scores all different types of goals, blistering pace. He has that power. but he's a very, very cute finisher as well. And of course, the Premier League clubs, you know, you talk about the top 6 clubs, they'll all be after him. He could play in any team. There's a lot of talk at the moment about, you know, who would be the better signing, Mbappe or Haaland. And there's a strong argument. Haaland's a little bit younger. Mbappe, okay, he's you know, you'd say he's a more rounded player at this moment in time, but everybody would take Haaland.
Rounded in what sense, though? He doesn't have the same physicality which Erling Haaland does, but he has the pace. However, let's not discount Erling Haaland may be big, but he's fast.
Look, he has. I still think there's development for Haaland to do, but for one so young, you know, Mbappe's a couple of years ahead of him in that respect. But no, I mean, he's a sensational player. Haaland. He scored a goal or he's got a couple of goals in the Champions League this season, which are he makes them look easy. But he's a very, very natural striker. The way he positions himself, the way he moves, the way that he seems to be a couple of seconds. He knows what's going to happen, and he has that thought process how he's going to manoeuvre his feet to get in position before the ball arrives, and then he finishes with aplomb. He's such a top player, and there's not a centre-half in the world who would relish playing against him, or even standing in the tunnel next to him.
Renee, you've scouted, I'm sure, hundreds of players for Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. When you look at Mbappe, when you look at Haaland, not to say specifically for a club or manager or system, because those things can change, but which of those two players is best suited to play their football in England?
They're both very well suited, although they're slightly, like you said, different players. They're both very well because Mbappe's so quick, so athletic, he's got great skill, great trick. Haaland, like Chris says, he's already a monster, so what is he going to turn into in the next few years, I don't know, but he's got such an unbelievable determination, he's direct. You give him half a chance and he turns it into a whole chance. You know, and he puts him in the back of the net. He lives of scoring goals. What just interests me really is because Ola has worked with him already in Molde, and he could already see there and then when he was a young kid at 17 what sort of player he would emerge into. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, there have already been sort of chats with him to come to Manchester United when he was at Salzburg, and that didn't materialise, and now he's gone to Dortmund. And we all know how the transfer strategies have worked out with Manchester United when you want to bring a player from Dortmund to United. In social, it doesn't really add up to me, because I think a lot of times when you're clever in scouting with clubs, you need to try to get those players, you know, just before they start breaking through. And that's what I mean in respect. Ola knew what Haaland is and what he could become. So why wait? Why not maybe buy him and then put him on loan for a few years at different clubs to make sure he gets game minutes, but he's a player then. Now it's going to be, I think, difficult to lure him away. At least it's going to cost them a lot of money.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken about his conversations with Erling Haaland, that he's still continuing to touch base with him. But Thomas Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp, they have links with Dortmund. Chris, they have history at the club. They've managed those clubs. And let's not forget, the father of Erling Haaland did not like Manchester United in the slightest, as we all know. It's true.
No, no, it is true. There was a famous incident, wasn't there, with
Roy Keane.
With Roy Keane. Look, but having said all that, I think Erling Haaland will go where Erling Haaland wants. He has the world at his feet. What I'd say, if you're a Manchester United fan, or you're the Manchester United manager, you would feel, and we've spoken about it today, would he be that final piece of the jigsaw for United? And there's a strong argument to say that he would be. But there are so many other clubs. Everybody wants him. So, his view is, why would he necessarily go to United when he could go to City?